Does that make sense? Right? So do you see the connection? Let me know if you're getting the connection here. Right? If this girl had more confidence, maybe if her parents had instilled her a little more self-love. Just this morning, I was riding, in the car with Taylor, this poor little girl. It's got to be torture to like ride to school every morning with a 54-year-old college professor who's thought deeply about every aspect of life, right? So I just randomly go down some rabbit hole. But I said, yeah, well, I just want you to love yourself because self-love is the cousin of self-esteem, which is also the cousin of self-confidence, right? So if you have self-love, then you have self-esteem, and you used to have self-confidence. You have confidence because you're confident in who you are, and because you love yourself. And I said, but you can't just love yourself when you're perfect. You got to love yourself when you're less than perfect, right? And we did all these things, right? And I was doing all that because it's like, look, I don't want people out here pimping and manipulating you and extracting things from you because you've got these voids in your self-esteem and self-confidence. I remember I saw this guy do this. So ultimately that video, I think what that video says to me is that those things like these cosmetic surgeries and stuff like that, they're not just expensive, but they tend to be a product of a dissatisfaction that we have with who we are, right? And I'm not telling you that you're a sucker for getting a cosmetic surgery. I personally, I talk to my wife, and whenever we that topic has ever come up, I'm like, no, Kanye lost his mama that way. We ain't doing that. Right? Like even the parts of you that got stretched a little bit when you gave the gift of life to those beautiful children, we gonna keep all of that. Like that to me is you're a veteran of the battle for motherhood, and for that I honor all the troops. So God bless all the mamas out here. I know the price you and your body have paid to give us life, and for that I think we should be eternally grateful and not just criticize you because you have a stretch mark or two. All right, so here is all right, so here's the next thing. I put this up because I just a reminder, like we got the babies here, and the babies are not going to be babies forever. And so I just put this up to say, like, stop twerking and invest for our future. I think that investing for the future of our children should be a very black thing. That should be like the biggest thing that black people do. Like that should be our thing. That should be our thing because other people don't do it yet. The other groups don't do it unanimously, right? I think like the same way they say, well, if you're black, you love fried chicken. If you're black, you eat watermelon. If you're black, you can dance. If you black, you can play basketball. They should be like, well, if you black, you investing for your babies. You buying stock for them kids. I mean, you got 10-year-old black kids that own more shares of stock than most adults. Like that's what I want to see, right? So stop twerking and invest for the kids' future because if you start investing while they're young, it's very easy to have financial security when you're older. Financial security is like a building. It's very hard to build a building in 30 seconds, but it's very easy to build a building if you give yourself 30 weeks or 30 months or 30, if you give yourself time, you can build anything. So building the house of financial security that will keep your children emotionally warm in adulthood, it's something that must start early. If it starts early, then it's very easy to do. So start early, buy them stock. Christmas is coming. Don't just buy them toys, buy them shares of stock. If you're not sure what to do or how to do it, we have a stock market program, drboystockmarket.com. My PhD was written on the stock market. My dissertation was written on the stock market. My whole committee went to the University of Chicago, which is like the Vatican of finance. They pretty much invented everything that you see in the stock market. Everything the model used to price stock options is called the Black-Scholes option pricing model. And if I'm not mistaken, they were at the University of Chicago. Merton Miller, one of the greatest economists who came up with the foundational thinking of how we run our entire economic systems, they came out of Chicago. My entire dissertation committee was from Chicago, and their focus and their actual what's the word, their area of expertise, or the area that they're best at, is an area called asset pricing, which is figuring out the value of an asset. My dissertation chair, Andrew Caroli, he told me, he said, you're the best asset pricing student that I've had in years. So I'm very good at asset pricing.